then come, come, come and rest and see.
There's something that music brings to the table that stirs the human heart. I didn't have an easy childhood. I went through a bunch of trauma regarding my family, and being able to go upstairs and just close my door and play this little Casio piano and to write like 12-minute songs and just escape into a world of feeling and release was huge for me.
I've always been into music, as long as I can remember, and I was just drawn to it, and I was drawn to people that were involved in it. So I have a lot of friends in the music industry, and I've been a hobby musician pretty much my whole life. So it's been something that's been a passion, and I don't go throughout the day without having music on, regardless of what I'm doing.
Well, we used to rehearse out here in Prentice at Barclay's house.
This was a good place for them to hang out because they could do what they wanted musically, and there wasn't, turn it down, or we didn't have neighbors that were complaining, so they could kind of cut loose.
I was best friends with Zach, and you were basically best friends with Josh. Mm-hmm. And then one day, Zach was like, "Oh, you're in a band now." And, and I was like, "Oh, really? That's kind of cool." Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we couldn't convince Kyle to play bass. And then you started playing bass. And so we had Zachariah and the Prophets, and we rehearsed every Sunday for
4 years.
4 years for like probably, a 3-hour rehearsal? Probably?
Half an hour rehearsal, 3 hours
of shenanigans.
Barclay saw us when we first started playing together. Then he saw us when we started playing shows. Then he saw us when we started doing a little bit better at shows. Then he saw us when we released an album, and then everything kind of happened. But he was there for these stages of our growth.
Losing a child is, it's the most shocking thing that can happen to a parent, I think, and the most devastating thing that can happen. Josh and his band were very much at that stage. They had just released their first EP. They had, scrimped and saved and worked hard to get enough money to record, had done their EP release party 2 nights before he was killed. And so they were at that stage, and then it just sort of cut off. I think it was 2 days after that, his bandmate Barry was over, and we were visiting, and he just said, "Yeah, I don't think I can do music anymore. I think I'm done." And I said, "Well, that's wrong. That would be wrong."
So when Zach and Josh died, it kind of just, I guess, was very formative for us because it made us have to work harder. Using this experience as a catalyst to make us better, almost in their honor.
Anytime I needed to heal in any way, music has been a huge part of it.
I wanted to find something that could help us get through it. I just thought that I had this idea that there has to be something that I could do or that we could do that would honor Josh and what he stood for in his life and his passion for music and doing good things with that, with music. So Prophets of Music is about emerging artists and supporting emerging artists. And that's been a big part of my healing and how I've been able to move forward.
I went to the High Hopes concert, and the two surviving band members played the CD, and they had all kinds of guest artists come in and play. It was awesome. It was like a mobilization of the indie pop scene here in Calgary. And I was sitting in row 4 on the aisle, I remember it clearly, and I was just absolutely gobsmacked. So emotional, and such a community of grieving and of celebrating at the same time. And I was just overcome with the sense that I have to do something with whatever is happening here. I have to do something with this.
We probably wouldn't exist without OCL and without Dan. Dan's been super supportive. We've had an amazing community of people come to be involved with us through what we've been doing.
It's kind of an army of people aligned beside Barclay on this journey. So everything dedicated to that. And then that'll make the changeover at the end really easy.
Okay. And we've got an hour for that changeover anyways, right? So that's lots of time.
We have this gift of waking up every day and being able to create for a living. Why not do something positive with that and help motivate other people to do it? And I think the Prophets is a way for all of us as musicians to be able to elevate our community and to give some people who have an exceptional talent the ability to grow that they wouldn't otherwise be exposed to.
Everything we said when things were different.
I think Prophets in Music is an opportunity for a younger artist to have an accelerated development of what their career goals are. And the fact that it can be tailored towards what an artist needs is amazing. You know, it's rare that they have something that can be that sort of specific for somebody.
I come from a pretty traditional family, and they're very much about becoming a doctor and a pharmacist or a businessman or a lawyer. So I've always been faced with that opposition of I'm chasing something that is very uncertain.
Well, what's interesting is that one of the real appeals with your entry was that you had this sort of interesting blend of an acoustic and kind of pop and almost a bit of a root sensibility, but then you have this R&B overtone and how your voice blends into those worlds and kind of bridges those two things together. That was one of the main things that got me really excited about the potential of getting you in the program.
The cool thing is that when you partner up with Prophets, they come alongside you where you're at in your career.
Prophets for me was like the best part of it was the first time I ever felt that I was allowed to be myself as an artist.
We've really landed on this idea that we have to allow the creative process to unfold.
For me, it was always a fear. Like, don't change me. I know who I am. Let me just be this weird butterfly. And they'd let you.
That's great. Yeah, you can be a little bolder with that. My only request is when you do the fill coming out of chorus 1 into that breakdown, you do a bat-bagadoo. Yeah, it's cool. I think OCL has just been a real godsend to our community in Calgary and has just been invaluable in creating a hub and creating a vehicle for all of us to grow as musicians and to be able to create music on a world-class level. It's huge.
You talk to any artist who writes really effective, great songs, they have gone through something and they have a story or they have a message or they have a vision and they take this and they create something new out of it.
No, I don't wanna fear, I don't wanna fall, I don't wanna fall, don't wanna lose it all. No, I don't wanna fear, no.
to be able to write something that gives someone the power or even just a moment of release that they can keep moving forward, that's huge. And if I wrote songs that didn't do that, I wouldn't want to try so hard, because this is hard. This is a hard business to choose.
For me, it was playing the guitar, and then it was getting into creating songs, and it just became such an important way for me to express myself emotionally when I couldn't do it very well verbally as a kid, that music sort of became just a way or a language for me. Also, because I was good at it, people treated me differently, and that felt good for a kid that was shy and nerdy and kind of neurotic. I ended up getting a job with Jan Arden as her guitar player when I was 23. So that kind of got me into the whole production world. And then I've just been really stubborn and kept doing it ever since.
TV shows I know that I won't like, just to see you smile, my baby girl.
You know, he's a producer, but he's also a teacher, and he's a collaborator. I mean, if you can hit all those buttons, then you're just laughing. Carolyn Quinn came through the first go-round of the Prophets of Music. She just wanted to be involved with the next go-round of the artist.
'Cause you got me down, but you pick me up, but then you got me
I want to be able to create music that people love, but that portrays a message that is actually life-giving in a way.
Maybe there's a way we could see the whole world, never work a day, drive down to LA. Everything we've known never seems so faded. But when I hold your hand,
I don't really have like technical training with singing, and I don't usually warm up before performances.
There is a voice in there that you haven't even accessed yet, and I can hear it. I'm so excited because you haven't even done any of the like strength building work. I want to give you like a bunch of things that'll actually it's like push-ups for your vocal cords. Think of it like that way. So this guy is gonna take away all that excess air, and it's gonna be able to connect your vocal cords with only the actual strength of the chord instead of using all this tension, because you can't sing with tension through strong. So I want you just to blow like low to high.
All for the low price of $0.
Blow, and then yeah, do that again. I know you feel weird, sorry. You take care of your guitars, you have to take care of this. You don't get to go buy new strings for your vocal cords. You get one set.
Music is a way of voicing things that are unvoiceable and communicating things that are either really too difficult to communicate or sometimes extremely hard to articulate.
I tend to isolate myself when I'm not doing well mentally. Music has been a great way to express myself when I didn't really feel like I wanted to talk things out.
Sometimes it's easy to play guitar about how you feel or play drums about how you feel. There's an emotional dialogue that happens between the creator and the listener of music that I think is vital just to feeling like a human being on our planet.
I think I found my home. She's not in California. She's looking at me now. My love, how I adore you.
Beautiful.
He has a beautiful vocal tone, and you know, I legitimately got goosebumps during him singing in the room with me, which I can't argue with that. Like, I can't control that. That's not something that I can try and make happen. It either happens or it doesn't.
Music it's part of my being. I think I wouldn't exist if somehow they just yanked music out of existence. I would just crumble. It's what I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in between.
My decisions in life are all influenced by music. It's just such an important role that everything is affected by it.
It don't matter much.
It's terrifying because you have to, producing a record is like facilitating someone's dream for something, you know? Yeah, you know how when you play that way that everyone tells you not to play? Yeah. You can play that way today. I know.
Crazy, Carson. That's so cool.
If you turn it up, it sounds like an old Kinks record. Like it's sort of like that, almost that
He
Link
stabbed the
Ray.
speakers.
It's all about motivation. So, like on the last song, we had Barry playing a guitar solo through a tiny little piece of crap practice amp, and I just kind of threw him to the lions and had him do it. And because he was a little bit uncomfortable, he played with a certain type of tension that was really great for the song. So sometimes you're just trying to manipulate energies in order to capture something that's unique and hopefully is bringing kind of the character of what they do to the forefront. That's the goal anyways, because it's their record, it's not my record. It has to sound like them, not me.
Cool.
Hey Carson, you can come out of the gate on that last chorus even a little fancier. You know, just commit to it right off the top. Don't worry about building, because we don't want the fade to be too long.
Playing live is way different to playing in the studio, whereas live, things go wrong. Mistakes happen, which is kind of the fun part of it, because that's always a story, right?
Oh, it's always so cool because when you're playing live, you're so much sloppier than your recordings. So when it's all laid down, it's like, oh man, that sounds way better than it usually does.
I have actually really bad performance anxiety, and that's something that I've always struggled with.
Especially like the moment before you go on stage, it's the most things, like it's the hardest part of the entire performance. Is like the part where you are like preparing to go on and people are like waiting for you to go on.
But when I'm actually on the stage, it just feels like it's like an out-of-body experience.
Singing, oh my love, oh my love, oh my love, she's got me so sweet. Time to sit by myself.
You go to a concert and there's people that have a completely different life, a completely different lifestyle, but they're all unified and experiencing this thing that's coming off the stage. And that can be really captivating if you're creating it.
I'm feeling the blues. Thank you so much.
My girl lies over the horizon, and I just want her here in my arms.
It almost kind of gives you a viewpoint into the human condition a little bit. And to be able to share into that is, I think, one of the biggest and coolest things.
For me, this journey with Prophets of Music has been very helpful in my healing and what I've been going through, what my family's been going through. I can't imagine going through this without, you know, doing something like Prophets of Music.
I think music is something that is like nothing else on this earth. And I think it's really powerful. And I think it just affects so much goodness.
I'll be your honey bear if you can be my